Hello, my name is Liberty and welcome to my channel. I would highly recommend you listen to this video at 1.5 times or 2 times the speed. I am a professional artist, philosopher, and witch. And on this channel we talk about the overlap between art, philosophy, the occult, and witchcraft. Today I'd like to talk about something else I would have really liked someone to explain to me before I became a witch and before I started my entrepreneurial journey. It encapsulates a few different concepts that I'm sure you've probably heard of. The human instinct, aka creativity, intuition, flow, gut feeling, how anxiety and trauma can trick you into thinking that something is your intuition speaking when actually it's your past trauma speaking. And also the differences between meditation, being present in the moment, and ADHD hyperfocused. So in my opinion, the human instinct is creativity. Anything that a human feels instinctually pulled to do has to do with creating something, even if that does include destruction of something also. In my opinion, this is what is meant by the Bible, by all mankind being made in the image of God. I would go even further to say that consciousness... Oh, there's something in my eye. I think I got it. So we could go even further and say that consciousness is created in the image of God, or that God itself is consciousness. So therefore, if we're made in the image of God and God is consciousness, then consciousness would never act against itself, right? Meaning that any impulse a human has, if it really comes from their core, it is their instinct and it's from God. I'm not saying that it's moral or good or beneficial to the rest of humankind. This is not an ethical discussion or a moral discussion. So, yeah, don't quote me on that, but but being creative is typically a pretty good thing. As animals, we also have an instinct to help us survive and help our nearest family and friends survive, because humans are a social animal. So we have developed or evolved in packs. So in that regard, in the base level of survival, I would agree that human instinct is synonymous with intuition. And in that regard, it could be said that a gut feeling is also synonymous in this area of base survival. But this is also where it gets kind of hairy with anxiety and trauma. If you have ever experienced something traumatic, or especially complex PTSD or PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, I forgot what it was for a second. If you've experienced that, what is safe and what is not safe, your wires can be crossed because of something extremely traumatic happening. So this is where your gut feeling or your physical wiring would override your consciousness intuition, if that makes sense. And even if it doesn't make sense, I already said it, so no takesies, backsies. To complicate this even further, if you identify as an empath, that usually means that in your childhood, in your past, even in your past life, you experienced an environment where other people's emotions are or were more important to your survival than your own emotions, your own experience, and your own thoughts. This empathic kind of PTSD can occur when you're in an environment where someone has been gaslighting you for a long time, or if you're part of an organization that is a little culty or prioritizes the collective over the individual. Cults and organizations that prioritize the organization over the individual, they want you to not listen to your intuition, because your intuition naturally preserves your own autonomy. And being an animal, our own autonomy usually means putting our own survival over the others. If you're part of a system, an organization, or a family system that has a hierarchy of human importance, say Pope is more important than, the lower people or something, or what he has to say is more important. A lot of the times those organizations, or say if you have a father that cannot be bothered or else he'll beat your mom or something like that, those systems will produce empathic people because you become more sensitive to other people's emotions than your own. In these situations, I would differentiate a gut feeling from intuition, because your gut feeling can be from the programming from that organization, and could be separate or even working against your own personal intuition. So, how do you deal with this? You actually deal with it by being present, and I want to differentiate being present from meditation practice. I wish someone had told me in the past, and shit, they may have. I probably didn't listen though, because I wasn't ready. The lips of wisdom are sealed except to the ears of listening, or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what that quote is, but that's from the Kabbalion, which means we're only able to absorb as much knowledge and wisdom as we're able to absorb, or that we're open to. So being present versus a meditation practice. A meditation practice is practicing being present and practicing focusing on one thing. Usually what comes to mind, at least in the West, is sitting down and trying to think about nothing. That's definitely one way of doing it, but you don't have to do it like that. The point of meditation, in my opinion, is to get your body used to being in the present moment, so that when you go about your day, you can put yourself in the present moment and stay in the present moment. And every time you can be in the present moment in your everyday life, that is also meditation. But usually when people are talking about meditation, they're talking about the practice of practicing meditation. They're not talking about just every day being in the present moment. But every day being in the present moment allows you to be conscious and occupy your own body and your own mind in order to observe the thoughts, feelings, and reactions that are happening in your body. And when you start to become more present, you start to understand the difference between, this is a gut feeling from my previous programming because of trauma or past experiences, and this is a separate calming feeling that I just have a feeling about it. It's my instinct, it's calling me, it's pulling me. It feels natural to go towards this impulse. That would be what I would call intuition. As a little tip, intuition in your brain, if you have a monologue, I don't know how I would explain this to someone who doesn't have an inner monologue or an inner dialogue or trialogue, depending how many voices you have in there. Intuition is akin to the Holy Spirit, or the still small voice that whispers. Maybe it says something like once or twice, maybe 3 times, but your anxiety and your trauma will scream at you. It'll be super loud and it will not shut up. So that's a good difference. And if the voice, or if the thing that it's saying is making you feel anxious or uncomfortable, it's probably not your intuition. It's probably just anxiety or OCD or intrusive thoughts or something like that. Ooh, touching on OCD real quick. I used to be terrified of demons, and now I'm not. The reason I was terrified of demons, well, I don't know about the reason, but I had really bad demon OCD. It really got in the way of my magical practice and my freaking life, honestly. It would keep me from going to sleep. But I would mistake that anxiety for intuition of, oh my God, there's a demon in the room, a demon trying to get me. And later learning that those kinds of thoughts and those kinds of feelings are not indicative of something happening outside of you, learning that was really helpful. Also, just so you know, demons don't want to possess you. They have their own things to do. They're not trying to puppet you for fun. All right. If you've made it this far into the video, please subscribe. Let me know that you've made it this far into the video. And we're getting into flow, which is like the candy of being present. It's like bliss light. It's a really good feeling. And as an artist, I actually experienced this probably not daily, but definitely weekly. And so, like, love my job. It's the best. But maybe you've experienced this experience by running, or if you've been having a really good conversation and it's just flowing, you're running and you got a stride, you like caught a stride, I guess that's the phrasing. Or maybe you're a software programmer and you just had a really good day and you blinked and the next thing you know, the day's over and you don't feel stressed at all and it was very lightweight. That's what's called flow or flow state. This happens when your skill level meets the challenge of the task. It's just challenging enough to where it's engaging, but it's not too challenging to where it starts to stress you out or frustrate you. This state is honestly, I think, the envy of all workaholics and runners and the like. There's a lot of information about the flow state on YouTube and explaining it, and neuroscientists and everything. But what I think is not explained is the difference between flow and ADHD hyperfixation or hyperfocus. From the outside, it seems like the same. And if you have ADHD or something similar to where you also experience the hyperfocus a lot, you might feel like it's your superpower, which it totally is, I'll be honest. But I want to just specify that flow is, and maybe it's that ADHD or neurodivergent people, it's just like more addicting to be in flow, but flow is usually not that detrimental to your life. But ADHD hyperfocusing can definitely be detrimental to your life. I mean, you forget to eat, you forget to drink, you don't go to the bathroom, you barely freaking blink. Like, I just want to specify that if you have ADHD, just even if you're in the flow, just remember that you can always get back in the flow. You really, really can. You can always get back. And in my last video, I touched on the fact that humans always think like, this is it, this feeling, this experience, this is it, this is what's going to happen for the rest of my life. And if it's good, it's like, nothing will ever be bad ever again. And if it's bad, nothing will be good ever again. Go check out that video. It's about the Hermetic principle of balance, mental alchemy, etc. But yeah, just flow is great. It feels great. If you're hyper focusing, blink a couple times and drink some goddamn water. I am honored that you would spend your time with me. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you would like to hear from me. Talk about witchcraft, philosophy, arts and crafts, whatever. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm making videos really regularly now. And I'll see you next time. Bye!